Big Ruck in the building. What is you gonna do?
Ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Who created Krump? So many things to tell you. How much time you got?
So what's buck, everybody? Welcome back to the Krumping channel. I am President Krump. You are the Krump Nation, and got a very special guest here, my brother, one of my real brothers. But I'll let him tell you the story. This is Ruckus, aka Ruckabug, aka Woovie. But hey, we go back like that. All right, Ruckus. Tell him, man. I've been running my mouth, and you know I runs my mouth. But you tell him your story about who we are to each other. Like, how do we even meet? What is it about?
Man, well, what's up, everybody? As you already know, it's Ruckus. Ruckabug. Man, we go back far, and what's crazy about it is we didn't even know. We didn't even know. What was it? It was my junior year of high school, so I'm gonna age myself right now. Sorry about it.
All right, well, let's get it.
2003, junior year of high school. I thought I was buck. I wasn't buck. I wasn't buck at all.
So you was already dancing.
I was doing what I thought was clowning.
Okay.
But I was whack. I was whack, bro. Like, there was nothing to say about it. I was garbage. I thought I was killing people. I wasn't.
Yeah.
And then, so I was doing clown walk. I learned from, you remember Rampage? You remember Trey?
Yes.
Yeah, Trey. Yeah, Trey is the one who taught me how to do the heel toe.
Wow.
So heel toe, whip, all that. So we was out there in Orange County doing our thing at the club. Kokomo's. Oh, see, y'all remember Kokomo's? Woo, woo.
I remember hearing about this.
For real? Yeah, Kokomo's was a spot. We used to run that spot. Oh yeah, J Slaw, T Slaw, I don't care what you say. Rodon, Jesse, all y'all, we ran Kokomo's. Explicit. Kendall, you know what I'm talking about. Sorry, I had to shout out my boys from back in the day. So, man, Shake City. One of the days I left Kokomo's and we got killed off by a crew, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, how'd y'all get tight? It was actually Rodon who told me this. He said, you ain't seen Shake City? I said, what's Shake City, bro? He said, bruh.
Dang.
So I go purchase Shake City. And then I proceeded to lock myself in a room for 4 months. Practicing every move I could possibly do. Whether it looked dope, whether it didn't. Mom and pops would come knock on the door. I'd be like, don't bother me. I'm practicing Shake City. Okay. And in Shake City, obviously everybody in that was dope, but no bias. There was a particular person who stood out more than the others. That was you, sir. Except I couldn't do anything you did. So I started watching some of the other people, like my headbangs. That's all Barry. That's all. Oh, yeah. That's all Lil Me. Man, that nasty. I love Baby C, Hurricane. You know, everybody on there. Shout out to everybody on the DVD. Hurricane. But Miho, when he first, you already know that. Just as far as, like, you know, the people on the DVD, it is what it is. Yeah. It is. And that's what it was. I trained in that for like 4 months. I thought it was tight. Me and Kendall went down to Millennium one day in Hollywood. We're taking an Usher class with Shane Sparks. Whoa. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? I thought I was gonna be on Usher's background dancers, and it was not. So then 2 people come into the room after when we're doing our session. Mm-hmm. Big old puffy jackets with the orange insides. You know what that is. So, I'm gonna get another one. So then Kendall tasked me. He's like, hey, man, I think that's Tighteyex. I said, what? It ain't Tighteyex.
I came up in there.
Yes.
Oh.
That's what, no, bro, it was you. So, all right, whatever. I don't care what y'all say. Make fun of me if you want to catch my battle. We're doing the freestyle session. Kendall tapped me on the shoulder. He said, hey, I think Tighteyex just walked in. I said, no, he didn't. I turned. I looked like I saw a ghost. I don't know. I've had a freak out moment. I said, it's Tighteyex. I know you don't. I ran over to him. I said, bro, hey, man, my name's Ruckus. I've been watching you on Shake City for the past like 6 months. And you didn't know what to say. You literally were like shocked. I don't know if I scared you. I don't know if you were literally shocked, as if it was, you were shocked somebody recognized you from a DVD at that point in time, right? And then you said, oh, thanks, man. No, that's cool. And you introduced me to somebody. The person you were with was Lil C. Mm-hmm. That's where I met Lil C. So you both were there. And I was like, man, I've been watching you, bro. You're so dope, blah, 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 blah. Man, is there any way I could like learn something from you or anything? I was just purely hyped, purely a fan, right? This dude says one of the most dopest things that somebody could say in that scenario. He said, yeah, you can come to my house. We could lab for sure, bro. Whoa. What? I looked at that, I said, are you serious, bro? Just like that? And I'm 17, 18 at the time. Just like that, get the address, exchange numbers. I'm geeking the whole way back to OC. Back then, that clown and that Krump, that Shake City energy, it was so, y'all don't understand how it was back then. They really don't, unless you were there, like real talk, you won't understand it. Today's great, all throughout its history has been great, but there was something tangible back then. Just like there's eras of rap, action, movies, whatever you identify with, there's eras to it. Back then, it was still in its baby stages, infancy, it was growing. Everything was palpable. It was like we didn't have a blueprint yet, so we were just going, and everything was raw. It didn't matter. Bottom line is, I go to his house. Tommy lives in South Central, so I pull up. It was me and Trey and Kendall. We pull up, and I was hella nervous. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm about to go to Chez's house. I'm about to be whack. He's gonna make fun of me, whatever." I tried. So we go in, he's like, oh, what's up, y'all? He's in there, this big old 5XL tall shirt.
Because we didn't have money to buy the proper clothes. We were in poverty, so I used to just wear everything 4 sizes way too big. But that's why, because I just didn't have the money to get it.
I might have. So I was like, okay. So he's like, yeah, show me what you got. Show me what you got. We start dancing, and he was like, cool. No, that's good, man. He was real nice about it. He could have laughed us out the house, but he didn't. So we start labbing up. I meet his mom, and she was like, you look familiar. Something about you looks familiar. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I tell people about moms. Like, she was like sharp with it. I didn't see nothing. I don't know nothing. So it was another mom thing.
Yeah, big facts. She's like, I swear I recognize you from somewhere. I was like, I don't know. I can't tell you. I live in Orange County. Mom and pops do this. This is my name. Okay. So we end up labbing, sessioning. We go down there. I go back to my house, tell my parents how much fun I had, how dope it was. Man, Tighteyex is such a great dancer. Oh my goodness. His mom is amazing. And by the way, they're Christians too. Right? So I didn't know that. From Shake City, I didn't know that. When I met him, didn't know it. Didn't find out till went to the house. My dad, as you guys know, he maybe introduced you to him already.
I told you, the prophet, the poppin' pastor, Ruckins McKinley.
Yes,
don't
sir.
Forget it. Don't look at the screen like that when we talk about his name. This is Pops.
So Pops been in ministry. He'll have to tell the story himself, but ever since I was born, I've been seeing him on stages. He's just been nothing but the greatest. I get emotional a little bit when I talk about my family because they've done a lot, not only for myself, my little brother, my little sister, but anybody that they encounter. They really pour their hearts out to them, and they try to do nothing. They're selfless. And I've been watching my dad in ministry and my mom since I was born. Real talk, since I was born. He's been in ministry for over 30 years, traveled the world. Resume is amazing, but it's always been for God, for Christ, especially having a heart for the youth, the youth and the outreach and the next generation. That's going to do amazing things, and he'll go more into that. And if you don't know who he is, go check out Ruckins McKinley on Instagram. Okay.
I'm sure you've seen him.
You probably have.
I'm sure
you probably have. Also known as Papa Ruck and Mama Ruck from the Dunamis, which we'll get to in a little bit. Woo! So. Tells them, hey, you guys got to come down there and meet his mama, right? Got to meet Chez. Come down one day. And they're like, oh, where is it? I said, oh, he's in South Central. Mama's antenna went up. She's like, hold on, my son's driving down to South Central because I'm living in Orange County, right? I'm not going to say, I was raised in the hood or nothing. I wasn't raised in the hood at all. I was raised in
different.
Yes, completely different backgrounds. But my parents, they do know about that life, okay? So the minute I said I was dancing in South Central, like, we want to go make sure everything's cool. They come down there. I walk in, say what up to Chez. Chez said, what up, blah, blah, blah. His mom's sitting on the couch. My mom walks in first. Then my dad walks in. They make eye contact. His mom says, Ruckins? My dad says, Felicia? And then Felicia looks at me and goes, Wolvie? Right? Starts screaming, gets up, and is just going on this whole exciting rant about, I knew it was you. I've been babysitting you since you were y'all are God brothers. And she's just excited. And my mom and dad are like, oh my goodness, what is this? This is so crazy. Me and him are just sitting there in the corner like,
we just came to laugh.
we said, huh?
I'm looking at him like, well, I guess we got to continue. We just got brothers then.
So she literally says, you're God brother, she said. So my parents had a rap group back in the day. Christian rap group outreach called On Fire Ministries. They would perform in a dance, rap, drama, different churches traveling around. And Felicia used to babysit me and Ches as my parents were on stage dancing. And the story they like to say, she literally said, you guys were on stage in diapers. I remember, dancing up and down while my parents are rapping. She said, I had you on this lap, you on this lap, just bouncing while they were doing that. And we were literally looking at each other like, what? That is insane.
I'm looking at it now, like,
yeah.
Really?
Yep. So then I remember turning around and I was acting stupid. I said, well, I guess we fam. We just gave each other, dapped each other up, and it was like another level after that, right? So they talked, we talked, and ever since that moment, it was like,
super.
What are the odds? Like literally, what are the odds?
What are the odds of that?
There's no, and to come back around through Krump, through Shake City, through something that this man's been living his whole life. You know what I mean? And I'm just over here just living mine. Shake City, grab it, see him like, there's something different about him. Mm-hmm. He's dope. I want to dance like him. Not knowing that I know the man, not knowing that no connection,
rocking,
and no clue at all. So that still trips me out when you actually talk about it, especially all these years later. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Thanks. So
that's for real crazy.
Mom makes it known. Mom, Pop, and Mama too. Mm-hmm. They make it known like, oh no, this is not an ordinary, like y'all not practicing. Y'all are reuniting. It was like a destiny moment.
Yep, and that's what it felt like.
This is what he's talking about, those things. It was a tangible thing. I remember my life changed right there. My life was like, wait, what's going on?
Yep.
How do I know you? Well, let's try to rebuild our relationship. We was close, and like my mom knows a nickname. She had a nickname for you. She got a nickname for me too. And my mom was prophetic. I know this man to be a prophet. Papa Ruck is a prophet. Like he will tell you some stuff, man. I told you how prophetic words work around here. So we were surrounded by that, and to know that we was already little boys. I don't remember dancing. Yeah. I remember when it happened to me when I was 11, but I don't remember dancing as a baby in diapers.
Yep.
But it was there.
Yep.
And it was happening while your dad and your mom, they were getting off too.
Yep.
Kind of like transferring it to us.
Yep.
Like who would have thought this?
So what's crazy is he said transferring it to us. He got all of it because I was whack. I already told y'all. I was whack. I got the sports. I got the swole. I got some of the other stuff. He got the dancing.
But you had a baseball career.
Yes, right? I did. And when I fell in love with Krump, that's the only way I can say it. I always loved dance and whatnot, but when I fell in love with Krump, something changed for me personally. At that time, I was having a choice with baseball. And I'm not one of those people that just say like, oh, I could have been in the league. You know, there's all them people that, I could have been in the league back in my day. No, stop. It was for real. Like, and I don't need to, that's a whole nother story. If anybody wants to talk to me about it, holla at me. You already know. But love sports, love baseball. My two dreams, actually I had three at the time, because I've grown up in the household I grew up in. I was always surrounded by entertainment, arts, dancing, as well as the church. You know what I mean? So my dream, my parents always said, you can do whatever you put your mind to. God doesn't limit your gifts, like you. So I always I can do it all. I want to be an athlete. I love entertainment. I want to dance because mom and dad are dancers. You know what I mean? Nah, they're nasty, bro. I still can't beat Pops. I still can't beat him.
He will really out-chest hit you.
I try to battle him sometimes here and there. I still get beat. And I try to act like I didn't, but when they're older than you, so you try to be like, yeah, you got me, Pops. Nah, he really got you.
He really killed you off.
So moving on from that point, baseball, I literally had a choice. And some of y'all may say, you know, wow, that's crazy, but it's true. I could have pursued that route, or I could have pursued this dancing route. And there was a moment, I remember exactly when it happened personally for me. And I was like, you know what? This is going over here with baseball, but this krump and this dance and what I feel God is doing, this felt like my version of what my parents do for my story. Because as much as I was raised in the church and whatnot, I never felt I was supposed to be a pastor. I never felt I was supposed to be on a pulpit preaching. I've always felt that my ministry comes in a different way. You know what I mean? And so I was like, this feels like I'm supposed to go this way. I love this too much. I'm passionate about it. We met freaking the tightest dancer on the planet. And we God brothers.
Yeah. And
like I told you, if you weren't around at that time, you don't know what krump was like back then.
Strong.
Like I was never a clown, if you will, right? But I knew about it, right? But krump, I came in when krump was becoming krump, right? So it was cool. It was, you see everybody doing it. It had its own aura, its own energy. It was, krump.
Yeah.
And everybody knew what you was talking about. You couldn't just krump. No disrespect, okay? New gen, whoever, whatever, right? Don't take this the wrong way. And if you got a problem, battle me in the gym.
I'll take the dancing.
But you couldn't fake it back then, okay? If you weren't practicing, we could see it. If you were slacking, you could see it. And nowadays, I'm going on a little tangent, but I want to tell you, nowadays I think people get too caught up in the events and the battles all the time.
Man, you talking the language.
That they don't realize that back when we were coming up, there were no events and battles like that on big stages where you just go and just upload it and everybody thinks you're buck because you got your big battle. That's cool. But I'm telling you right now, and I've danced in front of 5,000 people. I've been in the grimiest of the grimy from all different types of levels of things, right? Some of my scariest moments, bro, were in front of 20 people in this man's living room. And I'm being real. Being out in OC at our street sessions where we're really, and nobody's filming it. There's no event. This is real. Like, yes, it wasn't you had monster train up. If you weren't ready and they caught you, you got caught. And guess what? Your rep got caught too. You're whack. You're no longer that big shot you were. You didn't get to just have a viral clip going around and you killed this and all that, you know what I mean? Like, and ride that for the whole year, you know?
But you brought up events.
Yes.
I really want to talk about this.
Okay.
Like, what are we doing with events? I think that people are well-meaning.
Yes.
But I don't think they understand what they're doing with events. It's too many of them and it's no substance at them.
Yeah.
The event that I remember, this is one of the main events. Yes, we did events like, the cage, but that was a collective. But when it became like a spiritual, it was known. And it was accepted because people knew that God had to be a part of it because what was happening there, like what happened between us, we like, for sure, this is God. Yep. We better do what we gotta do.
Yeah.
Papa Ruck and Ruckus, they threw this, it was a monumental shift in Krump. It was called the Dunamis.
It was actually called the Session. Yes.
We call it the Dunamis because that's what it was when he said this, but it was called the Session. Wow, the Session.
Yeah.
Everybody who was in Krump, they had to show up here.
Yeah.
Not only because it was dope dancing, not only that, but Pops used to do an altar call. So it was a bunch of young people looking for something, and God was that something, and he provided that. So we would come, get the heck off, do our anthems, do our battling, and then at the end, we can get our souls right.
Yeah.
Like, this became the blueprint for events.
Yeah.
And I threw events, but nothing has ever happened like the Dunamis.
Yeah. Never has.
The Dunamis, it wasn't my event. It was y'all event. Yeah. Because we're brothers, was like, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
So that Pops can reach a generation.
Yeah.
He's always talking about reaching a generation. I was a fatherless child. it was a lot of Krumpers that were fatherless. I told you about this. This is why we had fams. So the big homie, which is like the big brother, was looked at as a father. Now imagine if you're 15, 16 and people are looking at you like a father. This is crazy, but this is what was happening. So Papa Ruckins comes. He has a huge part to play in Krump. Yeah. A huge part. Yeah. And we got his son here. I'm his son too, and we're going to tell it. But he is the one that put this event in motion. Yeah. We just played our part. Yeah. But this was a vision. He was like, this is for a generation so God can help them. So we're like, let's do it. Because we're watching Pop's tapes. He's prophesying, like he's popping. I'm like, what if we could do that in Krump? The Dunamis was a legendary event. And if you missed that era, you won't understand what I'm saying about events now. Yeah. Nowhere near. And I throw events. Yeah. But it's nowhere near. It was just something about the Dunamis. It just was like, this is it. Yeah. Even the celebrities like Chris Brown, people show up there. Yeah. Everybody had to come there and get off. And if you couldn't get off there, you wasn't nobody. Well, that's just. It's true. So talk about true. If you remember how that started.
Oh, of course. I remember fully, and that part is a story that Pops will have to tell too, because there's two sides to it. Some of y'all who may not know me and whatnot, you're like, well, where have you been? You this important dude, whatever. Bro, I've been living life. I still been here. My parents raised me to take care of myself as well as others and not have my priorities all over the place, right? Yeah, so that's a message that I've been trying to live myself, as well as just, life. I'm grown. The reason why I say that is I have to preface that with this. About 50, 70% of the names that you may know at one point had to come through the session. Even to this day. Okay? Yes, sir. I will not take credit for that person is that person because of me. But I did provide a platform for people to do this. You may not have heard about it. You know what I mean? So I just had to say that because the session really was and still is, like he said, legendary status. And I don't want to say that we're going to throw another one or nothing, but
let's do it.
You never know.
Let's throw one.
You never know.
I want to throw
you never You never know. You got to talk to mom and pops.
I'll talk to pops. I'm gonna do the work. I'm going to talk to mom and pops, and we're going to see what we can do about this.
It's you guys, epicness.
It was special.
It was special. It was. And the thing about today's events, in my opinion, like you said, I think they mean well. I really do. They mean well. But that essence that I talked about, when Krump was coming up and how we were building it and how the movement was going, also helped drive the purpose in why the events were happening. And the Dunamis, the session, had a purpose. And yes, it was Buck. Yes, it was Krump. Yes, you had some of the dopest battles and kill-offs you've seen. But it was also about elevation. Not only for the Krump culture, but for your spirit man as well. Which, like I said, I'll let Pops talk about this, but there was no pressure. You didn't have to come and get saved if you didn't want to. A lot of people that came ended up loving it for that part. They didn't even know it was coming. Yeah. And Pops would, right before the main event, go up there and just speak some words of inspiration to them, not even for a long time, 10, 15 minutes. And they get healed, ministered to right on the spot of Christ. Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior for the first time, on the spot.
We're getting Buck in there.
So that's an outreach. You know what I mean? So we had the Krump, we had the Buck, we had the liveness, all of it, but we also had the outreach portion, which was big, huge. And it just showed what my parents and the heart of the ministry was and still is, which is going for the youth, uplifting the future generation. Like I said earlier, I had priorities and things I needed to do as well. All that goes hand in hand, spiritually and in reality. You have to have your plan. You have to have your growth. You have to have your discipline, your responsibilities, your accountability you have to have it. You can't just be out here just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Literally.
This is what
you know, like
tell people, like, Krump is more than a dance. And if
yes.
somebody looks at you and go, well, you ain't been here. You can say that about
a lot of people.
Even the people that claim stuff. You can say that about them because there's been a time. But Krump is not only this. Yeah. Krump is not only being active at events or going to event sessions. It's too many. I can't even be at all of them. And I don't want to be because they're trash. But it's also a way to learn responsibility, diligence, accountability. Like you got a fam that you got to account to. We can get bucked, we learn these life things, and we can get our spirit man right. Like Krump gave all of those things. So even if you weren't the most vicious dude, you could be a part of a fam though, and you can be having your responsibilities, and you can be getting fed this word that's going to help your soul. Yeah. So I'm like, this Krump now is just not the same, and it's our responsibility to bring it back, which we will, and this is what we're doing now. But we're letting you know there was an era. I'm not just saying Kingdom radically uplifted Mighty Praise for nothing. This is something that we experienced. I saw people get helped by this, which made me want to keep going, which made us, Krump brought us together. Like we were bros, like long lost brothers. I want to be reunited with as much family as possible. We only have a little vapor of life, and then I find out that this dude is my brother, and I'm like, wait, y'all know my mom? I was in heaven. I was in heaven, and Pops was dancing. Do you know what it feels like? I'm Krumping, and Pops is like, yeah. He's helping with the moves. He's helping us laugh. If you're looking for a father figure, I was the big homie. I was in heaven. Oh man, I was over there. I was almost living at this man's house. Not because I didn't have one, but his house did look better. He had this organic apple juice that I was obsessed with. I'm like, what is this, man? This is not regular apple juice that they sell at the store. This is organic. That's what I learned about organic. Like, this is exclusive. And we spent a lot of time together because of that. And that is Krump just as well. Even though we weren't always, but when we got bucked, it was for real. But we also spent time together. Krump, it was still Krump. All of that is Krump.
Yep, I agree, 100%.
You kind of have to live it over again because you don't remember it. Then you start to see pictures, and then things start to come together. And I'm like, well, we gotta be fam, man. So he got the heck off one night, and I just gave him a name. Boom. I don't know what to do. Here, let's go. You're getting off right now. So I had this name I told you about called Rude Boy. We had like a Bad Boys fam. It was me, Little C, Miho. I told you my name was Rude Boy. Little C was Naughty Boy. Miho was Nasty Boy. So the bad boys, we were the bad boys of Krump. I don't even know why we did that, but because of this Rude, aka I created like a style off of it. He was the first.
I was a little
Rude.
The first Rude. Lil Rude boy.
So I give him this name, Little Rude. Yep. He's the first Rude. It's almost like a tiny tie-dye situation. Like you're the first eyes, you're the first this, the first Little Rude. What happened to you? Like you go from being wagon clown and you meet me, but you didn't have no name, you didn't have no position. Nobody knew who you were. How was that?
Nope. As we started training, kept going, all that good stuff. So remember how I told you the Kokomos I would get killed off by them? I started doing the killing off, right? Yeah, so then, what happened one night too? I got to tell this story. You may not remember it. So one night, as prior to all this, I called him up one day and said, "Hey, I'm gonna come pick you up. You're coming to OC." And he's like, "For real?" I said, "Yeah, you coming to OC, bro? I'm gonna throw a session. You're coming out here." Jack in the Box on Bristol, right by South Coast Plaza, okay? I called all my peeps. I was like, "Hey, bro, I'm bringing tie-dyes out here." They was like, "No, you're not. You're not bringing tie-dyes out here." I said, "Yes, I am. Watch." Went down, picked them up. We're pulling a lot. I remember this like it was yesterday. We're at the stoplight. He turns. The way I looked when I saw him walking the Millennium is how he looked when he saw this parking lot. He turns, looks at a big old group of people. It had to be at least like 70 to 100 people there for a street session, okay? And he looked at me, he said, "All those people here for me?" I said, "Yeah, bro." I said, "Yeah, you're tie-dyes, man. These people are here for you." We pull in, they freak out, and we just get off the whole night. And that led to him coming out more often. I used to work at 24 Hour Fitness, and I used to I'm sorry, Rico, I'm sorry, bro. We used to have a dude, he was you remember?
I remember about Rico so many times, bro. Oh,
Rico was one of our tightest dudes we had in OC. And man, I used to bring Ches out, and I remember this one round. I gotta see if I got this if I have any of this footage, I'm gonna freak. There was this round, he danced a hood hop. Oh my gosh, Rico, I know that changed your DNA, bro.
Rico caught some rounds, man. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't even know what I was doing.
But I say that because we used to bring him out all the time. And we would go train at 24. We go train in the street, throw the sessions. And it's just all the time. And then that's when he was saying he'd be at my house. So we'd come out, we'd session, then he'd come to the house. We just be being God brothers, acting stupid, having fun, and messing with mom and pops, messing with my little brother, stealing his Roscoe's. He's still mad about that. But going into his question about how all that felt, it was awesome because I got to put down one dream, which was for me baseball at the time, and step into another path in which I had no idea where it would go, but I knew God was in it. Because I don't care what nobody say, just that story in itself, that's enough
for me.
That doesn't happen by coincidence, On top of just my upbringing, like I said, my dad's a pastor, my mom, I've been raised in the ministry in the church, I've seen all type of stuff, so I'm a believer. So I was like, just to be able to walk in this path where I don't even know what really is happening, but I'm with it. There's levels in the sessions, levels in communicating, level that expression with our body that you tap into where you just feel there's something special about this. That's the spirit, Some people would like to argue that, and I'm just say this straight up. He may not agree with me on this part. I feel the spirit can be tapped in anything that you do. And people that say, oh, I was feeling it or whatever, you're getting off crazy. It's like, yeah, you were, but you were also in the spirit. You just didn't know.
Yeah.
That was your spirit. That was God's touch. That's what it was. Now, if you don't want to give it that name, nobody gonna force you, but that's what it was. I'm sorry. You don't touch those levels of just, like they say, being an athlete will say they were in the zone. Musicians just say they blanked out and they just were hitting there. It's like that's what it is. You know what I mean? That's your peak of your connection, As I'm finding this connection and finding Krump and everything I'm experiencing, I'm feeling like, wow, I'm walking in what my dad has been drilling into me my entire life. Even though it's dance, now I literally watched somebody get out of a wheelchair while we were dancing at a church one time. Dad'll have to tell you that story, yeah. Yeah.
What are we talking about now? We're talking about people getting out of wheelchairs? Okay.
Yeah. It was crazy to watch and be a part of because I had multiple paths in my journey because I have my link to my fam, like literally my mom and dad and what they've raised me as and whatnot. Our reconnected link, my love for Krump and dancing just in general, because like I told y'all, I was whack. I truthfully, my mom and dad will tell you to this day, no, honey, you were good. No, I wasn't. I was not good at dancing until Krump. Something happened to me in Krump where it's like all those nights of practice and all that stuff, it clicked. And I finally felt a rhythm and a bounce of something that made sense, right? And it'll never leave you. Once sending in, it's never gonna leave you. So it was crazy to elevate not only on a Krump level, reputation, all that kind of stuff, but also watching, because like I said, at that time when I met him, there wasn't a lot of people around. It was just us. When I met Little C at Millennium, that was the first time I ever heard of him. No disrespect to C, but that's the first time I had heard of him. I didn't know, the only people I knew from Krump was from Shake City. That was it. Hadn't met nobody, because I'm from Orange County. Krump wasn't out there like that. It wasn't put out there. Krump didn't get moving till the session, till I started bringing him to Orange County. So I started pushing Krump out there. OC, IE, Oceanside, Lancaster.
That's how we found out people in Oceanside. It was coming to the session.
Exactly.
And then we was finding different links. But
Exactly.
because the sessions were so big that we were throwing in Orange County, we had to make an event.
Him and moms were like, we got to get them inside. Because some of you don't know, I was tired of getting, you don't know, the Santa Ana, there's a big Latin community. We got banged on like maybe 2 or 3 times, people pulling guns on us when he wasn't there. Yeah, straight up, one dude was like, hey, you got to get out of here, lift up shirt. I was like, yo, we're just trying to dance. We moved to a different spot. And this is in Orange County. Cops, you got to get out of here. Dang, okay. So I'm over here trying to find all the spots, trying to see where we can dance at. And moms and pops, we got to get them inside. We have to get them into a place where they can be elevated to not only to get this off of the streets and to get them into mainstream media.
Something just clicked. Because of the session, we have the D spot after session.
Yes, sir.
That's when the after session started.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I forgot that till just now.
Yes.
We used to go from the session to the after session.
Yes.
And that even when the event wasn't going on, oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps right now. You go there and so many battles have happened there. Because you didn't have the session, we'll go to the D spot. Everybody knows what D spot is.
That's when we got into it low key one time. I said it.
We did?
Yeah, we did. Because you was around somebody stupid. That's why I said it.
See, I had bad influences. Now, I've been telling on myself. Yeah. I told people I had a lot of bad influences. So people used to tell me, get away. My mom being one. Him being another. Pops being another.
Yeah.
They saw people were, trying to get... And I was just an impressionable young man with talent. I really didn't know what was going on.
It's true. And the fact that and I'll just tell you this straight, for you to be able to hold yourself accountable to that speaks a lot to your growth. You know what I mean? Because that was for us to be God brothers and all that stuff and go through everything we went through in Krump. And then I'm like, bro, what's going on? Like we said, you got to be careful with the circle you keep. You know what I mean? Especially, like you said, impressionable young man. I was blessed enough to have my family. So no matter how I was feeling, I knew I can always go to my mom and dad. And they would seek wise counsel wherever that came from. Not everybody has that opportunity to do that. You know what I mean? So grace needs to be given.
You weren't anybody. Yes. You get this name.
Yes.
How did you get treated?
Ooh, yeah. All that is what led to,
People start treating you crazy.
Bruh. The dance I loved began to turn on me. Not the dance, the people. Just jealousy, man. Jealousy. Anytime you take on something other people want, whether they think you deserve it, whether they don't think you were hood enough, whether they don't think you was hard enough, and I'm just telling you what was told to me. Okay, I'm sorry I was raised in Orange County. That don't mean we still, never mind. Yeah. But what's crazy about some of those people that said some of that stuff to me, those same people that are now trying to live their life in the way that I was living it. And talking about I've grown and I've learned and this is what life is about. But yet, when we were trying to teach everybody that, y'all was laughing about it. Right. And it's like, okay, it is what it is, but too bad you wasted 20 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? So take this moment to even hold yourself accountable. Even me in the ways that I'm not perfect, still need to work on stuff. And continue to ride this journey in the best way you possibly can with your system and your belief. Because that's all you could do. So for me, I got a lot of jealousy. As he taught me, I taught others. I never said this to your face, but I'm gonna tell you right now. Hey, I never said it to his face, I'm gonna tell him right now. At one point in time, the Ruckus fam is the only fam I think could have gave you a run for your money.
I believe it.
Except for me. He would have tore me apart, but one point in time, we were nasty. We were nasty.
Everybody wanted to be a Ruckus.
We were nasty.
I remember this time.
Yeah, it was the Rucks were a problem at a certain point in time. It was fun.
I really didn't have a lot of tight little homies. A lot of people were in training, so you had 2 or 3 hitters. I had T-Fly, he was one of my hitters. Hitman was one of my hitters. Rapture. So I had, it was spread out, but everybody wasn't catching it. Yeah. So, I believe it.
But it was fun, because there was, like I told you, with the eras and stuff, there was a point in time where he had an Eyes fam that was, they were bad, boy. They were bad. Man, as people, unfortunately, he encounters it today. As people start getting tighter, sometimes they forget. I don't like saying forget where you came from, but it's like it's almost like you forget what you're doing it for. You forgot what brought you here in the first place. And then they leave. They leave, whether it's to a different fam, different crew, different whatever, try to start coming at you in some way, whatever. And it's like, bruh, just stop. I think I'm good at recognizing talent. And I think I'm good at cultivating that talent. If y'all know me and know my dance style, I don't do moves, bro. Yeah. But I had little homies that did moves.
And they were crazy.
Yeah. And all I did was impart pieces he showed me on top of pieces that Pop showed me, along with my own style to try to help bring out a groove. But I said, dude, do you. Take what your strength is and just let's elevate it through these pieces. If you have that little ruckus in you, you know, because not everybody had that, just like not everybody could be an Eyes. Yeah. I never left Krump per se, but I took a little step back to kind of reprioritize myself, because doing the session, doing the Dunamis, I literally poured years of my life and not only me, my family, you know, into Krump, the movement. And then, you know, it kind of went a little eerie for a little bit. And then, so I took a step back. And so I can't really speak from a certain time period after that, even though I was here, but I wasn't. And I'm not going to be one to say, I've always been on. No, I wasn't around during a certain time period, but I always would pop up here and there. Yeah. See you at a session. I'm get off, whatever. Well, it's just like people don't understand, like, how much not only you, but a lot of people have been through. You know what I mean? And I'm not even trying to go deep. Like, I'm just saying in general, like, they forget how much has happened. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that too. I think
it's like a lot.
From the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, man.
They're assuming that this is all there is. I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
15 years ago, 17 years ago, you guys weren't even in that realm. You weren't even players at this moment. So this is a time, this is like the ancient times. What I believe, Krump, it should go back to it, not in the dances, but the morals, the disciplines, the principles, the values, the purpose of it.
Yeah.
This is what this time delivered.
You may not even know. Guess what? I was in Rize. Y'all don't even know that. You know the.
Wow. You've been around.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip this over. When Kingdom Radically Uplifted Mighty Praise came out, Krump was out. It was already out. We were crumping, but we were trying to figure out what the heck is going on. At least from what I remember. Like, I'm meeting this guy. I am going to this person's house. These people at a session. This is something. I used to come back and tell my mom, like, Mom, it was 100 people at the session. My mom was like, did you dance good? I want to come. And she used to always want to come. I'm like, Mom, what's happening? Yeah. She saw me get the prophetic word, so we're looking for what it is. Then me and Pops, which we will talk about, we started workshopping acronyms. And we were watching tapes and workshopping acronyms. But the start of Kingdom Radically Uplifted Mighty Praise came after I linked back up with you.
We felt there was a purpose. This is what some people need to kind of understand. Just because you maybe don't agree with something doesn't mean that you can't do what you do.
Yeah.
Do what you do, please. It's all good. Me at that time, how I came in, I've always seen dance two-sided because my dad's a pastor and he uses it for his outreach. But Pops is also just nasty, right? Like, he was nasty. So I love that about dance. So when I came into Krump, that was my version of popping, right? Meeting him again, everything, I was like, yeah, no, there's more here. There's more here. Dad, Mom, their excitement, the fire, the anointing we felt, all this. No, there's more here. There's more here. So yes, me, him, Dad, felt it needed something more. If we're going to do it, how can we elevate this in a way to where it means something that's connecting with our spirits when we do it? And that's when they started workshopping the name and whatnot, because at the end of the day, it was like, how can we use this to be an outreach, to be a message, to be something that brings people up, you know?
Those of us who were in church a little more, I was in church, he was in church, so we know, I think Elohim is behind this. Let's seek the wisdom. I believe, and I want anybody, I challenge you to test my theory. Rize introduced you to it, and some people weren't even introduced at Rize. Some people were introduced from Shake City, like this guy. Rize came out, then it opened the door for Krump worldwide. But then when you get into the Krump movement, what do you see? That's when Kingdom Radically Uplifted Mighty Praise. I believe this is what spread Krump around the world. This is just what I believe. Without this moment, without the dunamis and all of the things that happened, you wouldn't have no DVDs to watch. It wouldn't have been no people around.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't even been no Krump Kings.
Yeah, we were the first event that had people come in internationally. Like you said, we had Chris Brown, we had other celebrities. Some of your favorite shows, competition shows, I'm not even sure I told you this. Those producers were in our seats before they made their shows that you may know today. The session was definitely doing something special. It's even now, the fact that we're grown, like we're grown. You know what I mean?
Talking about helping me move in
Yeah.
the house, late night, carrying the couch on your back. But he can do it because he's buffer than me, so I'm trying to keep up.
I still believe there's a reason. You know what I mean? And it's like just maturing through this all, and that's why we have these conversations. Like I said, none of this was rehearsed. Yeah. You know, it's like, and I'm gonna just say it. Some people may feel however they feel about everything right now, but it's about what are we doing? What are we doing? You know what I mean? What steps are we taking on both sides? You know what I mean? And I'm not one to say, oh, if you over there, you over, not over here, and I'm not one to do that. But at the end of the day, what I will stand on is what are your intentions? Yeah. And are you at the end of the day trying to help the movement that we all love so much? You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with it. I still love this movement. No matter what people say, I love this movement. He obviously loves this movement. You know what I mean? And whatever God's doing, I'm excited. That's all I can say. I'm excited, and you know what I mean? Like, that's the bottom line for me personally.
So you can say safely that the reason why we Krump, or the reason why we went so hard, and all of these magical things happen. Like I still don't get it. Mm-hmm. So I don't remember a lot of things. I still don't get how we were doing this, and then it got here. Yeah. I just don't understand it. Yeah. Would you say that the underlying thing? Yes, we did crazy moves. Yes, we did crazy kill-offs, but it's the God factor.
Of course, it's the God factor, and it's the fact that it's a movement you can feel. It was a movement with a message. Yeah. It was new. It was fresh. It was cool. It was aggressive, but it was spiritual. It has very much, like they said in Rize, it has tribal roots. You can almost identify. Now, of course, there's different styles, of course, but there's nothing like Krump, man. He's gotten to see worldwide dancing. Now, I love other dancers, trust me, dance styles and all. I can name my top 5 dancers right now. I'm not gonna do it, but I can. He's one of them. And literally, they are not all Krumpers. But no matter where I've been, there's been moments that are super buck from other styles. But I'm telling you guys, if you were not there, and I can't speak for the clowning days and all that. This is me. You can't tell me different. Some of those moments, bro, like I remember one time, you weren't there for this, but it was me, Trey, Threat, Big Threat. The bucket's Asian a lot, I don't care.
I remember Threat, dude.
Yes, Big Threat.
He was dedicated.
Yes.
And he got seriously tight.
Yes. Threat.
He was scary.
Oh my God.
He used to scare me.
Yes.
I remember hyping this dude up.
Threat was, something came over him when he started dancing. He turned into a different dude. Amazing. So it was me, Threat, Rampage, and Riot in the IE, okay, versus Crush, LT, J-Tight, and Ron, which is, who was he? Soldier. And it was 4v4. When I told y'all earlier about those nights where like you'd be like, "Ooh, this is it." Like you're looking around and you can't back away. There is no hiding. There is no turning off the camera.
There's no neutral ground.
Yeah, those moments where it's just like everybody's just going, and that only happens in Krump, bro. Like yes, there's vibes and popping. Yes, there's hip hop. Yes, there's whatever. But those moments of just you can't duplicate that, bro.
It will crush you. If you're not ready, it will crush you.
Whether you acknowledge it with spiritual or not, that's what it is. Yeah. It's coming from inside your soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Krump is just one of those things you can't do superficially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It'll tell on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it's not in you, it's like, why don't you just wait till it's in you? Or dance until you receive something. But you can't You can't be fake.
Yeah.
We know.
Big facts.
Because it's your spirit.
Big facts. I'm Buck. I know who I am in God. I know who Big Ruckus is. I know my history. And you are not going to out-buck me.
Yeah.
And that's just the bottom line. Whether the judges say you won, whether the crowd says you won, I don't care. And that's what makes me Krump.
Yeah.
If we just talking on a dance level. Now, if we talking about me and my spiritual, man, you definitely ain't touching me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's levels to it. So it's not, and that's what it means by you can't fake it.
Whatever the purpose is, that's what's going to bring that out.
Mm-hmm.
If we was just crumping on the surface, there's no way we'd have been doing this for 20 plus.
That's true.
No way.
I just have to say this, yo. I don't know if you guys know this, but like during Rize, even after that and whatnot, like yes, on commercials now, and you see it here and there, little movie references or whatever. Bro, there's no way that it wouldn't have been on Larry King. There's no way that you. One of my experience, I got to go to Vegas with him during Krump Kings and dance. Vin Diesel was in the audience back when he was Vin Diesel, Fast and Furious, peak of his career. Vin Diesel. There weren't other dancers coming from such a new movement of dance, getting the opportunities that Krump was receiving during that time period. You can't replicate that. It speaks to the power, the creativity, and just the overall feeling. This is what I feel. Krump makes people feel. No matter how you, that's why he said you can't fake it. Because if you fake it, I don't feel you.
Yeah.
And what am I feeling? I'm feeling your spirit. I'm feeling your energy. I'm feeling your essence. You know what I mean? I'm feeling your power, your authority. I'm feeling your dunamis. Like it is what it is. I truly, and this is me just speaking candidly right now, I don't think Krump's even gone where it's gonna go or supposed to go. And that's just me being honest. And the fact that it's still as big and relevant as it is 20 something years later, and it hasn't even done what it could have did, that's kind of saying a lot. That's kind of saying a lot. You forgot to tell him one of my AKAs that I was. You said Rude Boy, but you forgot the other one. For those that don't know.
He was Junior Tighteyex. He went from Little Rude to Junior Tighteyex. So he knows what it's like to be in the fam. He obviously knows what it's like to be an object of ridicule. People like you, then people don't like you, but he's a platform provider. He was a resource. This is what a true big homie is, what I've been trying to tell you. It's not people that just dance good. It's people that can provide other things for others, resources. I am a source I can give out to many. Yeah. He's done that. If you say you got requirements now, people will stone you.
True.
You mean tell me I just can't jump in this fam and get my footage? There's requirements, dog. What?
Yeah.
That's a cult.
No.
You know, but it's like, dude, you want to be a part of this. This is how we operate.
No.
You want the stuff. This is how we get the stuff.
No.
So I'm happy you brought up requirements. It is requirements if you want to do anything elite.
Yeah. And everybody's, that's 100% true. Anything professional or elite, you do have to work for that, just to be real. And I would tell people the minute they wanted to come into the crew or the fam or anything, I said, you are going to be hated on instantly. You inherit what I have because that's what comes with it. So if you're not built for it, or you just think you're going, like you said, just walk in and nothing's going to happen, no, you get who you're associated with. And unfortunately, because I'm chasing greatness, that's what there was a lot of fakeness in my crew too. Not only my crew, in the movement back then, a lot of stuff. But I never claimed anybody to be perfect. I never claimed anybody to myself to be perfect, but I just wanted everybody to try their best. And so I can't speak for if you know, oh, well, what about this person over here? I can't speak on that. And the fact that you're sitting here doing that, what is, once again, I got to go back to, what is your intention? Yeah. Why are you here? If you're just here to tear down, look in the mirror. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Nobody is perfect here, okay? We're all just literally doing our best, or at least I hope you are. And if you're not, check yourself in the mirror and just be real with yourself. That's all. Just be real with yourself and you'll be all right. You know, it's all right.
This is like a real veteran, a real OG of his place. Not only because he's tight, he was tight. He had that check, he had a fam, check, and he had a platform. And not only his fam got to shine on his platform.
Yeah, that's facts.
This is Ruck above, this is my brother, and we still dance in church.
Yep.
We
Yep.
still at the new
Yep.
breed. So what we was doing in diapers, we're still doing it today.
Yep.
And I hope you guys enjoyed that story, but you're gonna see him a lot more because we're obviously family. Because
Yep.
God put it together. Kingdom radically uplifted, mighty praise. Outreach for the youth. We're still doing what God called us to do. We're kind of late to the party, but we gotta make up and redeem the time. So this is my bro, Ruckabuck, Ruckish Woovie.
You putting out my nickname, man.
I got to do it, man. I got to do it. And we will have the Poppin' Pastor, Prophet Rucky McKinley on here. And I'll see y'all guys next time on the Krumping channel. Let's make Krump praise again. God be the glory. Peace.
Peace.